Well, hi. Thank you for watching Repeat Offenders. I'm Jens-Erik, and well, I was going to talk to you about fish care today. It's the beginning of October. The fishing is picking up because the temperatures and the weather conditions are improving. One problem with fall fishing obviously is that the daylight hours are getting shorter and lots of the takes are coming at night. And hey, if you gotta get good fish, you just want daylight pictures. So nothing's easier than secking the fish up, right? Well, there's two things where two key points where you really have to watch out. First one is pegging the fish down in the carp sack. If the fish manages to take off in the sack, it's gonna die. It's 100% a sure thing, and it does happen a lot. I've seen it, and it's just not a nice way to die. You're in this thing, you're locked up. You can oxygenate, but you're basically starving to death. And it takes a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, for them to die and then to bloat and float up in the carp sack. It's just a nasty picture. Everybody knows that the carp fishing guys are responsible for that. It's just something that you can't avoid. Just make sure that this thing is in. If you think the stick is in, push it in some more. As you can hear, we have some real gravelly bottom here. It's really hard to push them in, but it's been in like this much. Nothing's gonna move here. I really make sure that this thing is really pegged down, and I really pull sideways, because fish not gonna pull up or down. It's always gonna pull sideways. It's not gonna move. It's one of those things. Then, if you do secure it with a nice knot, or better still, get something that has, like a split ring on top, and then just clip them in like that. Nothing's gonna move if you peg them down like that. And another thing that people are really paranoid about, which pretty much isn't that big of a concern to me, is that the fish might escape out of the zip sack. I think pretty much 99% of us use zip sacks these days, not those drawstring sacks. What I usually do is, when I slide the fish in, I take care that it's in this side where the zipper is, because now if I close the zipper up, the zipper's on the opposite end, and even if it pushes up into this corner, there's no way that it can squeeze and move and kind of push the zipper backward until it has a hole big enough to escape through it. But hey, even if I don't know what the fish is and I've lost a picture opportunity, but the fish is safe and alive and back in the water, so basically that's unlucky, but it's not a big deal. The big deal is losing the fish and the sack at the same time. Make sure this thing is pegged down. And a lot of the newer bags or the newer sacks, they come with a mini H point, like a little float, which is also good advice. Make something, attach something on a 6 to 8 meter line, depending on the water depth. That's highly visible, so you can just cruise around with the boat and look for your sack if it did happen. Don't lose the fish in here. We owe it to them, we love them, and they should be taken care of. Now, if you want to transport it, you've probably seen that. Make sure that the fins are flat against the body. And yeah, you can pick the sack up and move it like that, but the sack is really not stable. You kind of, bunch the fish up. So basically what I do is I get, a waist sling, something that is more rigid, put the fish in there, and transport it to the waist sling, and then slide it in. Make sure the fins are aligned. They are. And off we go. Okay, second part of the process. Obviously, You know, you save a lot of time if everything comes prepared. I got the scales here, got a little bucket of water handy. Unhooking mat is still dry, so I'm going to make sure that thing is nice and wet to protect the mucous membranes of the fish. Now, the second part that's really important to know, a lot of people just never realize this, is that the time in the carp sack is not recuperation time. People keep telling me, oh no, the fish is nice and refreshed when I pull it out after 8 hours. It's really hard to control it. Yes, that's true. After the fight, they're really spent. They're physically exhausted, and that improves in the carp sack. But psychologically, they're really stressed. Yeah, psychology and fish care. But you can basically, well, think about it from your own point of view. Let's say you're walking down the street, you're nice and relaxed, and all of a sudden there's a car, coming to a halt, screeching next to you. 3 guys jump out and say, "That's him, get him!" And you're like, wow, and you take off, you're running away, and after 10 minutes they do get you and they push you in the car, and after 5 minutes they come to a halt, they rush you into a building, and boom, they slam you down in a 6x6 cell. And after 12 hours, yeah, you will be recuperated. You will be not as exhausted physically. Yeah, you've had time to calm down, get your blood rate, your heart rate down. But in your head, you're still very afraid, very upset, very stressed. It's the same for them. Time in the carp sack is time in captivity. Something really unusual is happening to them. And that stresses them. Actually, scientists have found that the part where you fight the fish, where he's hooked, when he's trying to escape, that's a regular stressor for them. That's like getting away from a predator fish or something like that. But the time in there is actually much more stressful, and it's over a prolonged period of time. That's actually the part where they die. If you have an old fish, a big fish that's been around for 30, 40, 50 years, it might have a heart condition just like humans do, at that point. And they die in the carp sack, not while fighting. So make sure we owe it to them to make the time in the carp sack as short as humanly possible. I've seen people catching them at 11 o'clock at night. Then they get up around 8, 8:30, 9, they have breakfast, they talk to their wife that they caught a big one, and then they pull the fish out around 12. No, it's still slightly overcast, there's going to be sun in the afternoon. Let's wait for a perfect picture opportunity in the afternoon. The fish is in there and he is stressed. Get him out as soon as possible. But do make sure, they're rested, physically. They're really feisty. You have to take care that they won't hurt themselves. So if at all possible, do the pictures at night. If you do have a nice setup, you don't need a whole lot of, you don't have to spend a lot of money. But if you get one of those LED bicycle lamps that have, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 lumen, you can get good pictures at night. It shouldn't be a problem. Maybe we can show you that with another fish tonight. And because they're physically, recuperated, this is why I hold them like this. Usually I keep them on the mat for 5 to 6 minutes just for them to calm down before I do change them. Now if you do want to weigh them, I suggest to do it now. You have to wait anyway for them to calm down. Might as well use that time. And if you've got everything prepared, it's just a hand grip. Okay. I know we should probably touch it up here. It's around 16 kilos, 32 pounds. If you subtract that and the carp sack, that's probably another kilo. So it's 15. It's a 30 pounder. Well, 32 or 33 English pounds. Nice fish for the start of the session. And I think he's calmed down enough. Another important thing is, before I kind of pick him up, make sure your watch is gone. That might hurt him. And even if Mrs. is a little peeved, this thing's got to go to. Don't put them in the grass. Chances are you might need a new one. But this is why these waders come with a little front pocket, right? That's the watch pocket, the new one. Put them in there, you know where to find them afterwards. Then you can pull out the fish. That's the major drawback of sacking them. They're stressed and they've gotten their breath back. Here we go. Okay, let's see if we can pick her up. Make sure to stay above the unhooking mat. She is gonna struggle with me, pretty sure about that. And yeah, nice dark mirror carp. 15 kilos. I don't know what that is, 33 English pounds. Very nice fish. Now, and if you do want to put her back, you should do so as fast as possible. You know, just the repeat process. Make sure that the fin is nice and flat against the body. They're like that, and then you push down, they're gonna break. You gotta point backwards. I use the waist thing. Just push them out like that. Make sure that they're recuperated, they're oxygenated, and then when they start to move, I put them back out. Okay. Yeah. And the bike light gives enough power to make night shots like this possible. You know, lift it up, show it to the camera, and that's it. Put it back. So as you can see, you really do not have to sack the fish. You know, if it's a biggie and you want the pictures and the bragging rights and you want to publish them or something like that, I think it's probably wise to wait for first daylight and do it the first thing before breakfast and before, you know, washing up and all that. But if it's just a regular fish, do it at night. Save the fish the hassle and the trauma of being sacked for prolonged times. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.